Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is it. This is the big one. It's the FA Cup semi-final. Joe Smith joins me as always. This preview is brought to you by Manscaped. So we've got an offer where you get 20% off and free shipping. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Joe, I do say it all the time. I do say this is the big one, usually because it is. But there's no disputing it. Everything is on the line this Sunday, Joseph. Everything. This is it. This is United having a mint season or United having one that petered out.
This is genuinely season on the line.
I think so.
We're not going to finish higher than third. I think it's almost impossible, but it's certainly implausible. We could finish outside the top four, which would obviously be terrible, but you know we are certainly favourites for top four. This is the last game that really means something. Like, this is a huge game. An FA Cup semi-final is always huge. Not only is it against a team that's one of the most sort of exciting up-and-coming teams in the Premier League, it's also most likely a chance to play and potentially stop Man City winning a treble this season. Like, as far as FA Cup semi-finals go, this has pretty much got everything. We were a disaster, an utter disaster against Sevilla the other night. We were, completely outplayed and most importantly for me, outfought as well, where they were sprinting when we were jogging, just, metaphorically and literally on the pitch. It's a huge game. Massively need to respond, and like it says there above us, the season is on the line here. This is, you mentioned it, what was it, a couple of years ago, where we had a Europa League or Champions League tie and then an FA Cup tie shortly after it, lost them both, that's it.
Under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the semi-finals that just all went wrong.
May will be very underwhelming if there is no FA Cup to look forward to. Like, it's a huge moment for Manchester United, this, and we have to, as we have done actually very well this season, put an awful performance behind us and come back with a brilliant one. Because,
listen, Eric Ten Hag's done a fantastic job. No one's disputing that. We've won a trophy and we're looking in pretty good shape for Champions League football. So it's not like the season has been horrendous. It's not. It's been a positive season. But we can't deny that when you're in 3 cup competitions going into 1 week, you don't want to come out of that week being, when you've won 1 cup competition and you're in another 2 cup competitions going into 1 week, you don't have to come out that week having been knocked out of both cups. That's just awful.
From a potential treble to 1 cup, but it was 3 months ago. And obviously, look, at the end of the season, if we finish top 4, we win the Carabao Cup. That is more than I would have hoped for. It's the first time we'll have done that, a top 4 and a trophy in the same season since Sir Alex left. It will be a very good season, or a comparatively good season. But it will still feel slightly deflating when we thought there could be a little cup treble on here.
If we are going to win on Sunday, in fact, we're going to win anything. There's one man we need. We didn't have him against Sevilla, and it showed. Bruno Fernandes. He's been integral to Manchester United since he arrived from Sporting Lisbon. I mean, it's not just goals and assists. He's a leader on the pitch. He gets about the pitch, and we had a little bit of a reminder, didn't we, against Sevilla? Like, we didn't need, not that we needed one, of just how important he is, and it's massive getting him back for this game.
I honestly think he's underrated. I know that's, maybe ridiculous, and I think after the first 18 months where his numbers were so blatant that even the most sort of deluded Liverpool, Arsenal, City fan had to admit he was world class. But as soon as those numbers have dipped slightly, and actually he's got double-digit goals and assists again this season, which for me, for any attacking midfielder, that should be the aim, and that's a good year. As soon as they dipped slightly, it's, he makes mistakes all the time. He loses his head all the time. It's this. It's that. It's the other. He's one of the reasons why United have sort of consistently got to semi-finals and finals over the last 2 or 3 years. He's one of the reasons, and a big reason why we are seemingly on the way back to winning trophies. Because he's brilliant, and he's brilliant most of the time. And not only did we miss him against Sevilla, but it was sort of almost perfectly framed by how brilliant he was against Forest the game before and against Everton the game before that. He was amazing, and he creates more chances than anyone in Europe, or as many as anyone in Europe. Only Messi has scored or assisted more goals since he joined Man United in Europe than Bruno Fernandes. It's like, how could you not say he is amazing? And of course we missed him against Sevilla, but these are those games where, not just in a season, but in a player's career, where you look back and you go, he dragged us to that final. We were so bad 4 days before. He came back and he dragged us to that final. It's a real opportunity, and I'm not putting all the pressure on him because there are plenty of players that need to step up more than Bruno does. But it's a huge moment for him, and I think I do think he's got what it takes to be the difference against Brighton.
No, listen, I agree. You know, ever since he arrived, we've both been massive Bruno fans, and it's always baffled me how anyone, especially some United fans, can, you know, not rate him. I get you might criticise certain aspects of his performances, but to not rate him or to think, you know, he's not as good as certain people make out, I just don't get it, because I think we're very, very fortunate to have Bruno Fernandes. For me, he's easily been the best signing we've made post Sir Alex Ferguson. And, you know, we might have some good signings now, but on the whole, I don't think any of them, sort of for what they've done for Manchester United since he arrived, can hold a candle to him. With all that being said, give us your predicted 11. This is the team you think Erik ten Hag is going to pick, and if we were going to judge it off the Sevilla game, I think he'd drop them all, but he has to pick some of them despite that performance, and we've also got Bruno coming back into it.
Yeah, De Gea in goal, which again is out of necessity, because
he's not going to drop him, is he?
If you ever want to take a player out of the firing line, it's after that performance, I think. But he's not going to drop him. And the thing is, as much as I have criticised De Gea, I think he's the best goalie we've got. Like,
because isn't he and I think he's injured anyways, and also are you going to throw Jack Butland into an FA Cup semi-final?
No.
That'd be insanity.
Yeah. David De Gea is our best goalkeeper. He is fit. He should play.
Okay.
Then I've gone for Dalot at right back. I've gone with Lindelof and Shaw as our two centre backs, because I just think, especially against Brighton, what you saw against Sevilla, that press, that first goal we conceded, where Maguire doesn't look over his shoulder, doesn't know what to do when he's being pressed. Brighton are better than Sevilla at pressing. They will do what they did to their. They will do what Sevilla did to us, but far more in a far more coordinated fashion, far more consistently throughout the game. You could see 2 or 3 mistakes like that if I think Maguire starts. So I've just brought him out. Hopefully Luke Shaw's fit. Play him at centre back. Then I've gone Malacia at left back. Then I've gone with the so far undefeated midfield trio when they've started. 15 games together, 13 wins, 2 draws. Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, makes sense.
Eriksen was brought off with 5 or 6 minutes to go against Sevilla. I'm hopeful that was with an eye to not, risking injury rather than because he was feeling anything. So hopefully he's ready to go. But that midfield three, again, it's our best midfield, so just play it. And then front three. I don't think Sancho can play after the other night.
Okay.
Maybe you put him in as a, prove that was a bit of a not a one-off, because we've seen it a couple of times, but that was a bad night against Sevilla. Prove yourself. But for me, I'd start Rashford on the left, I'd go Anthony on the right, and I'd put Weghorst up front. I think that was the starting lineup we saw at Wembley last time against Newcastle, wasn't it?
I get the points you're making. It all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The one question you might have is, Malacia is not played, I think, since the Sevilla game. He's going to be okay coming into the semi-final. What's going on with him there? I understand your point about Sancho. I thought he was woeful against Sevilla, absolutely woeful. And I like Jadon Sancho, but it was just, he didn't put any effort in. Weghorst, who's struggled a lot lately, but does offer you at least effort and energy, which was missing from a lot of players against Sevilla. So there's a lot there that I think does make sense. And Shaw coming in for Harry Maguire is probably, I think personally, the easiest decision the manager's got to make. It's just how he handles that, how he does it. I've gone for something slightly different. I've gone with David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Lindelof, and I've got Dalot playing on that left-hand side. So similar sort of thinking to yourself. I've got Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno in the middle for the same reasons you have. I've given Jadon Sancho another chance, because I think the chances are he will be more effective than Wout Weghorst. But I wouldn't lose any sleep if it's Wout Weghorst starting over Jadon Sancho, because Jadon Sancho's performance against Sevilla was one of those where you go, it wasn't that you weren't at the races, you weren't trying. So I understand it if the manager goes, that's not acceptable to me, so you can sit this one out. I just thank God Marcus Rashford's back, because Andy Martial's injured again, so that's why neither of us have got him in our starting 11. So I've got Rashford down the middle.
I think Marcus Rashford missed 2 games with injury, and Martial couldn't wait until he got back.
It's mad, isn't it, how those two aren't playing together, because they finally got some minutes together against was it we played the other week at Old Trafford when he came, was it Everton? Sorry. Yeah. Finally got 10 minutes, whatever it was, 15 minutes, then Rashford comes off. Then Rashford comes on against Sevilla, and Marcel goes off.
It's like they're a tag team. Do you know in wrestling?
Yeah,
you only allowed one in the ring at once.
It's so bizarre.
If Rashford comes on, you got to tag Martial on the way out.
It's so annoying.
Ridiculous.
Brighton are a good team. We know that. Yeah. Obviously, they're in a semi-final for a reason. They've got 1 or 2 good players. Danny Welbeck being the best player they've ever had. understandably. They've also got that young kid called Evan Ferguson we've been linked with. He scored 3 goals so far in the FA Cup this season. Yep. Very good for a young player. Is he someone that you think could not just do something here, but maybe put himself in a shot window a bit? Because we have been linked with him.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's 18. These are the moments, aren't they, where, what is he all about? Like, FA Cup semi-final is a huge chance for him to really have his sort of Wayne Rooney moment or whatever, he's being compared to. But also, it's the sort of player as a Man United centre-back where you think, yes, you're a promising upcoming player, but we need to be able to lock down an Evan Ferguson. As good as he may be, I'm hopeful and, sort of pleading to our centre-backs that you can't let this kid tear you apart, because we have to be better than that. Do you know what I mean? And you look at Brighton's fixtures so far on the way here. Middlesbrough, they beat Liverpool, Brighton and Grimsby. Stoke and Grimsby. The Liverpool game, obviously, very impressive, but Liverpool have hardly been Liverpool this season. So this is a tougher test, I would say, than anyone they've played so far. And hopefully our experience in Wembley as a club generally, but also this season, and the fact that the likes of Casemiro and I think Rashford as well, certain players won't be overawed by the situation. United just have to get it done. Like, we can't allow a promising, overachieving money ball, whatever the adverb or adjective or descriptor about Brighton you want to use is. We have to beat them.
Joe, what's even more exciting than FA Cup semi-final?
500 grand cash. Give me that, yeah, obviously.
Well, there is that also. Looking after below the waist.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's even more exciting than an FA Cup semi-final. Coming out of the bathroom, looking downstairs and knowing that you are in all your glory and you have looked after yourself in the right way. And thankfully, Manscaped have got you covered because they are the leaders in below the waist grooming.
Yeah. You can join over 8 million men who are using Manscaped. That's not like a few people in a shed think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Loads of men love it, and I'm one of them.
And I like the fact that every time we do this, we've been doing this for a little while because we love teaming up with Manscaped. It keeps getting higher, that number.
Yeah.
It was, it was a few million.
I remember
not
it was
long
3
ago.
million.
Yeah,
Jay.
and
It's
now
8 million now.
I'm not surprised when you've got the Performance Package 4.0 with the Lawnmower 4.0, the Boxer Briefs, the anti-chafing technology.
Yeah. How is your anti-chafing?
She's on tablets.
Right.
You've also got the the ear and nose weed whacker.
Yeah.
You've got the crop preserver, the crop toner. You've got everything you need to make sure down there is absolutely glorious.
And also, sorry,
no, don't
we're
apologise.
past the point where, as men, you can go on a Tinder date, you can meet with your girlfriend, you can go this with just like a mess down there.
No.
It's not 1990 anymore. People expect it to be tidy, to be in shape, to smell good, to look good. Don't think, I'll be all right, I'll just give it a little scissor trim around the top. No, sort it out, get Manscaped, and be a modern, actual, proper human man.
So the code is MatchDay20. It's a new code. We've got a new code, Joe. It's MatchDay20. Click on a link in the description. Use the code MatchDay20. You get 20% off and free shipping. What more do you want, man? Manscaped is making life better. Joe, give us your score prediction.
I hate it because they're really good. And we were so bad against Sevilla. I have faith, though, in Ten Hag. And I think they're going to score, but it needs to be one of those. Someone needs to have an absolute game, and I'm putting that on Rashford and Bruno Fernandes. I'm going to go 3-1 United. Bruno with 2, Rashford with 1, blowing away the cobwebs. A phenomenal performance from Manchester United to get to the FA Cup final. 3-1.
Love that. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm with you. I think the likes of Bruno and Rashford are going to step up. I think we'll get over the line. We need to, man. Come on, we need to stop City doing the treble. Big thanks to Manscaped for sponsoring even this preview. Joe, where can people find you?
Check out Manscaped in the link in the description. And check me out on Joe Smith93 on Instagram and Twitter. And also, if you're watching and you want to be part of the watch along, film yourself in landscape, giving your score prediction, saying what you think the game's going to be like. Send it to paddockmatchday@gmail.com and you'll be featured at the start of the watch along with all the rest of our superb regulars.
Love that. Joe, thanks as always. That's been Joe Smith. I've been Jay Motti. This has been the preview for the big one, the FA Cup semi-final against Brighton. Thanks for watching.